Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about taking personal responsibility. Taking personal responsibility for your life is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself, but for your family and for your community. This is how we create strong men. This is the first stage in the warrior's path. You have to take responsibility for where you are in this world, for where you are mentally, physically, where you are in the game. And that's you, it's on you, you're navigating. You can only blame your parents, and blame society, whatever your victimization is. I was born on the wrong side of town, I was born to the wrong parents, people like me don't usually get opportunities, whatever all that shit is, you got to drop it and just take responsibility for where you're at. It's an incredibly hard thing to do, and people don't like this conversation. A lot of people are just like, man, as soon as they get to this point, they're just like, well, whatever, man. I thought when you said personal responsibility, we were just talking about going grocery shopping and paying bills and showing up to work. I mean, I can do that. It doesn't stop there. I mean, that's a start. Commend yourself for being able to go through the basics. When I talk to people who suffer from debilitating depression, and people that can barely get out of bed and they just want to shut themselves off from the world, that's where we start, is the basics. Getting out of bed, getting dressed, personal hygiene, cleaning your house, making your meals, eating healthy, exercising. We start with the basics, and you get through that day. When you break it down incrementally, all of a sudden the basics, that's an incredibly complex day. That's tons of things to do. It feels overwhelming. Once you can check off that list and you go to bed at the end of that day, that can feel exhausting for some people that have depression. Then they can feel that sense of strength and get ready to move forward on their journey. Every time we plateau, you can take a break and look at the view, but you got to keep moving forward on that path up to the top. Personal responsibility is how we move forward. When you don't take personal responsibility for your life, you stay stuck. And not only do you stay stuck because of your lack of productivity, but you stay stuck because of your mental state, your mindset. You don't move forward mentally. You don't evolve. You don't continue to grow and mature. You don't become wise. You stay immature because you're stuck along the path and you should have kept moving forward. But you can't move forward until you get rid of that victimization. All that bullshit that you tell yourself and tell the world, all those excuses. This happened to me kind of all at once. Have you ever had an experience where you kind of have a revelation? When you get on this path of mind, body, and soul, it's not just working out and eating healthy. You got to study. I study every day. You have to really start putting information into your brain. Spiritual growth, educational growth, that helps you in tremendous ways. And when you start that path, you'll start having these revelations. They'll just happen to you because you know what happens is your brain likes tasks. Your brain is like a computer and it loves to solve problems. And you should learn to use your brain properly. Put your brain to work on problems. Your brain will, while you're sleeping, while you're resting, while you're watching TV, while you're doing other things, your brain will be constantly trying to solve these problems. It loves it. So you want to use your obsessive nature, which many of us have, towards our betterment. And it doesn't mean that you stay obsessed. You can learn to release your control over the world, because that's what an obsessive nature really is. Control freak. But your brain will continue to solve these problems for you, and that's where these revelations come from. It happens. I was just walking my dog by the river. There's a beautiful path by the river. The river is great. You can see all kinds of wildlife and birds and all kinds of cool stuff. And it just dawned on me as I'm watching the dog piss in the lawn of some fucking mansion that I need to take personal responsibility for my life. That's why I'm staying stuck with anger issues. That's why I'm staying stuck with past sorrows and shame and guilt from certain scenarios. And there's some things I just haven't gotten over. And it's just become, well, this is the way I am. These horrible flaws are just the way I am. Accept me for being fucked up. Why aren't I moving past it? Well, this is the reason why. I need to take personal responsibility for every single thing that's ever happened to me, for my position on this game, in this chessboard of life. I'm where I am, I'm who I am because of my own doing. This is all a result of some decision that I've made. Like those choose your own adventure books that we used to have when we were younger. However you ended up at the end of that book is because of the page that you chose. You don't blame the book and throw it against the wall, burn the book, go and find the author and blame them. You know that it was just the choice you made, and you laugh at it. That's the whole point of the goddamn book. And you start over again, and maybe next time you'll choose to go to page 6 instead of page 10, and you'll have a different outcome. Those books were rather fun in that way. You could read the same book 3 or 4 times and have different outcomes. You know, life is about choice. This is what the ultimate curse, they was said, but it's the ultimate gift that was given to Adam and Eve. Power of choice, the freedom of choice. What it did for me to take responsibility for my life and for all the fucked up shit, for all the good things and the bad. I mean, that's part of it. You can't just take responsibility for all the bad and carry that load. It's your load to carry, but you want to balance it out with the good. Acknowledge the good that you've done. Many people don't really do that. They walk around miserable. These miserable sacks of shit. That's what they think of themselves. You can tell by someone's posture, by how someone holds their head, by the tightness of their lips, by the way that their eyes are. You can always see the weakness of a man right through his eyes. Taking personal responsibility empowers you, gives you power, it sets you free. It's like a new beginning. That's the way it felt for me on this walk down by the river. And I was just like, man, what a fucking amazing thing to think about. All of a sudden, experiences started flooding back over, like really fast, one by one by one. My entire adult life, even some of my childhood, I realized, wow, it's all been me. This is all me. I have no one else to blame, no one else to thank. You know, I mean, it's not a narcissistic thing where you're going to sit there and be like, yeah, you know, I'm so successful because of me. Other people have helped you, just like other people may have harmed you. But you want to give yourself credit where credit is due. And you want to be able to be humble enough to give yourself the space to see where you fucked up. It sounds so basic. I mean, it is. It's really basic. But so many people don't do this. I wasn't. And until I did this, I was tortured. This is what set me free. This was such a huge leap of growth in my personal development. It was learning to take personal responsibility for my life. Starting your brain on that path of personal responsibility. I mean, it gets those gears turning. That opens up doors to revelations down the road towards a path that you never, of greatness, that you never would have been able to take. Only people, there's a certain branch of success, of happiness, of joy, that can only be attained through responsibility, through personal responsibility. And you're finding your meaning in life, your purpose in life is down that road. So So I can't stress this enough. I could talk about this topic for probably 2 hours. I think that people should start just by thinking about past experiences. The next time a past experience comes into your brain, instead of blaming, instead of going into victimhood mode like many of us do, like I used to, that leads you to anger, this fuck the world kind of attitude. This is what it did to me. Instead of doing that, take the high road. Take personal responsibility. A good boss, a good manager knows how to do this. A good team leader knows how to do this. A good team leader's not going to go to his superior and say, well, sir, I got a bunch of fucking losers on my team. What do you expect from us? That's on him. He takes personal responsibility for the performance of his team. He's the leader. Coaches of teams, of any kind of team, should do that. So do this with yourself. Get into the practice of it, and you will find a Pandora's box of greatness just waiting for you. This is where you level up. You've reached the next stage of the game, but you won't get there without this. Thanks for watching.